Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show. It's the real Chat Daddy Show.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Real Chat Daddy Show. Hey, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. Glad to be back with you guys on what started off as a very nice Wednesday morning weather-wise, and now it is cold. It is very, very cold. I was looking back a year ago today, and we were experiencing extremely cold temperatures, but I guess it is Chicago as we know it, so make sure you guys bundle up. Take care of your pets, watch out for the elderly, and be careful with those space heaters. All right, we have another wonderful show planned for your viewing and listening pleasure this evening. Tonight, we're going to talk about a fashion icon and a trendsetter. Last night after the show, we found out that icon Mr. Leon Talley passed away at the age of 73, and he has been trending ever since his passing last night. And speaking of passing, we're also going to talk to a gentleman who specializes in grief. And I know a lot of you all are like, who would specialize in grief? Well, grief comes in multi-levels, and our guest tonight is going to talk to us about the fact that grief can trigger everything from happiness, sadness, anger, disbelief, and even doubt. Tonight, we welcome to the show author Fred Colby. He is the author of the book Widower to Widower, Surviving the End of Your Most Important Relationship. And I think that's a great conversation to have. Kay Renee and I often talk about on this show how we've lost parents, but I can only imagine losing your other half, your partner, your mate, your love buddy. In your case, Kay Renee, that cuddle buddy, if you let them stay a little bit longer. Our co-host, the amazing Miss Kay Renee. What's up, darling? Happy Wednesday. Happy Friday.
Happy Wednesday, happy Friday to you, and happy Wednesday to our audience, because here in the Windy City, like Art said, it's cold. And I may need that cuddle buddy. You know, I thought I might have put him aside, but I'm going to have to get a cuddle buddy real soon.
Yeah, look, you either going to have to get a cuddle buddy or an electric blanket. Now, I don't know which one you'd rather have. I'm sure
I got an electric blanket. I need a cuddle buddy.
Okay. All right. So we're still on the hunt to find Kay Renee her ultimate cuddle buddy. Yes. So if anybody in the Chicagoland area meets all of her criterias, she is looking for you as a cuddle buddy. So, okay. All right. Very good. All right. Everything else good in your world this evening?
Everything is wonderful. I mean, you know, it's our Friday.
Yeah,
we're gonna have a great guest, and soon as we get off the air, we're gonna be skedaddling to a nice place to hear the smooth sounds of Mr. T.C. Carson.
Yes, we are. Yes. After tonight's show, we will be going to see Chicago's very own Mr. T.C. Carson for one night only here in Chicago at the City Winery. So for all of you all that are going there, I know a lot of you all on your smartphones trying to get there and all of that. We appreciate you. And I'll see you guys tonight. I'll be in the audience. So that'll be really great. Yes.
Absolutely.
All right, darling. Well, let's get this party started. As you guys all know, we're a health and wellness show, and each and every evening we deliver you the latest COVID-19 update numbers here for the state of Illinois. Oftentimes we do talk about the national numbers, but tonight we're going to cover the state of Illinois numbers. Illinois public health officials reported 26,491 new COVID cases, and unfortunately we had 160 additional fatalities as of Wednesday. Governor J.B. Pritzker said, we're cautiously now optimistic that the state has passed the peak of the Omicron surge. So he's thinking because the numbers have dropped that we have passed that peak, and you and I have been talking about that peak for some time. Let's see, there have now been a total of 2,709,474 total cases of COVID here in the state of Illinois. And we've actually had 29,510 deaths since the beginning of the pandemic. Our statewide test positivity rate is now at 15.7. So it has dropped some, which we're very happy about that. And as of Tuesday night, last night, 6,507 patients in Illinois were reported to be in the hospital due to COVID-19. Of those patients, 1,085 are in the ICU, and 608 of those patients are currently on ventilators. So our thoughts and prayers go out to everybody. I saw today where one of our famed undertakers here in Chicago, Mr. Spencer Leak Jr. of the Leak family, said that the casket makers called and said that they are out of caskets, like they're running low on caskets. So I don't know if it's a supply and demand situation. I don't know what it is, but he said, yes, if you go to his social media page, you'll read the post, and all you saw were the little shock face emojis and the crying emojis, because that is just unheard of. But he said they are faced with, running low on caskets.
And it probably will, unfortunately, when that time comes, I would safe to say they may be asking families to consider cremation.
Yep, you're absolutely right. Absolutely. Yep, they may think about that. Because with cremation, if you do want to view the body, you'll be using kind of like a rental casket or whatever the case may be.
Right.
But then, to my understanding, I thought that the casket was cremated as well too, but I don't think so. I think you're putting another type of container. So yes, okay,
right. My dad was cremated. That was his wish. And that's exactly how that went down. Exactly.
Yes. Okay. Very good. Well, I'm glad to know that. So the governor says cautiously optimistic that we are peaking at this particular point. What do you think about all of this? Because I know myself right now, 3 people who are currently battling COVID. They're not as sick as we heard of a year ago this time, but they are really battling it. The mayor of Chicago just recovered from it, and she said it was like really fighting a bad cold. So I mean, I don't know.
Well, our health director, Dr. Allison Arwady, had said the same thing as well. I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. We are still in winter.
Yep.
And as long as we have indoor activities, because it's cold here in Chicago, there's that chance. So I'm going to be cautiously optimistic. I'm hoping that this time next month, because what the next big holiday is? Valentine's Day.
Yes, it is.
So it will be interesting to see how many people will take heed and do what they're supposed to do. Then we can say, okay, if the numbers continue to go down, then we can say perhaps we have peaked. But I'm not going to make that prediction. I'm just going to be cautiously optimistic.
And that's a great answer. As we all know, we are in cold and flu season. And so, you just don't know. Being careful is one of the most important things ever. I had a lunch meeting today. Had a wonderful time with my lunch date. And when we got to the restaurant and, you ordered first, sat down, and they brought you the food, the lady asked us, was we staying in or leaving? And we said, at first we said takeout. And then we said, no, we'll sit in here and eat it. She definitely asked us for our vaccination card, made sure we were who we were. And, and it was great. And the restaurant was not overly crowded, anything like that. So, I mean, I don't know. And then I am hearing of more and more people who are going to get vaccinated, because a lot of these jobs, contracts, I know of 3 people who said, oh, no, I'm not getting vaccinated. And the companies that they are doing work for said, yes, you are. You're going to have to be. So, I don't know if that's going to make people change their minds about it or whatever,
Oh, so what happened, Miss Janet, that your friend did not follow?
Right. I have a friend with COVID. Okay. She is partially vaccinated. Okay. Yeah, no, I know people fully vaccinated and still going through it. I know people who have not been vaccinated and they've gotten COVID. So I don't know. I think what I am hearing, because I haven't personally experienced anybody who has died recently from it. Most of the people who I know have compared it to like a bad case of bronchitis, have compared it to maybe having like pneumonia. Yeah. So, but all of that is your lungs, and you just don't want to play around when it comes to situations like that.
Not at all. And think about it, you just said it earlier, Art. We're still in flu season, so that's the combination of flu and coronavirus is flu-rona. So you
Yes,
can have that simultaneously, and then what do you do with that? So it's just what's it saying? It is what it is. You
it
just
is
have to
what it
just
is.
be very careful during this
Yes.
time.
Yes, absolutely. Well, before we move on to our next news story, I did want to take a few moments to offer my condolences to a dear friend of mine's family, the legendary Miss Pat Brickhouse, Patricia Brickhouse, the wife of the late great sportscaster Mr. Jack Brickhouse. As you guys all know, he was the voice of the Cubs for many, many years. Everybody loved Jack Brickhouse, the
Mm-hmm.
statue of him here. He just the all around great guy. His late widow and I became good friends when I was the entertainment, nightlife, and travel editor for a publication. And she did PR for a few restaurants. And she and I became such good friends that we started hanging out, becoming drinking buddies. And in December of 2012, I had a holiday party at my home, invited her, and she came.
Oh.
And I've got to tell this story because they buried her this yesterday, and
Oh.
yeah, they did. I happened to see it when somebody mentioned she passed. Went to her son's page, and so he thanked me for my little write up I did, and he wants to meet me when he comes to Chicago. But here I'm having this party, everybody's having a great time, and here this jazzy little white lady comes in this killing mink coat. Right, she
Oh, I
comes
bet.
in. She stands in the middle of the floor of my house and she goes, "Well, hello, everybody. I'm the original brick house."
Ah!
You could hear a pin drop.
I
Imagine
bet.
a party full of black folks mainly, and they all turned and they looked. And I said, "Everybody, this is the widow of the late, great Jack Brickhouse." And
The
everybody checked.
original. The
That's right,
original.
the original brick house. And everybody jumped up, hugged her, was so glad to meet
Oh,
her. And she actually danced, stayed the entire evening, had a wonderful
wow.
time. Yes. So many
Oh.
fond memories of Patricia Brickhouse. And I used to tell her all the time, Patricia, or Pat, if you ever pass away, I want all of your Gucci purses because she had the Gucci purses from back when we were in high school and the Gucci
Oh,
bag,
yes. I
those
remember
bags.
those.
Yes, the
Yes.
plastic bags. Yes, she did. And I
Mm-hmm.
was just like, Lord, and they were in mint condition.
I
Mint condition.
bet. I
Yeah. So
bet.
my
I saw
condolences.
I saw the photo and I could tell there was such a warmth between you and Mrs. Pat. So
Yeah.
my condolences to you and the family. But now she's reunited with her original brick house.
That's right. Jack. Yep.
That's
And
right.
all of her other people. So just sad
Mm-hmm.
in so many ways. But then I it was so many deaths last night. I had to just catch my breath. I in the last 24 hours, it's just been overwhelming. Last night when we got off the air, news broke that and actually my friend called because his brother saw the news first and told me about it way before they had even made other major news outlets. I had posted it on my social media.
Mm-hmm.
Andre Leon Talley, born October 16th, 1948, passed away yesterday at the age of 73. He was in a White Plains, New York hospital. It wasn't reported what he necessarily died from, but I did hear in some news reports today that he had a heart attack.
Oh,
Talley, known for his larger than life, over the top grandeur. He was 6'6",
I
6 foot
know. I
6.
know.
He was a fashion journalist, stylist,
Yes.
creative director, editor at large for Vogue magazine, the first African American male creative director from 1988 to 1995. He was on America's Top Model, America's
Tyra
Next Top
Banks.
Model, yes.
Right.
And he was the stylist to the Obama family.
Yes, he was. And
Yes.
and remember, he had a little conversation with Miss Jennifer Hudson because there was something she was wearing to the either it was the Grammys or the Oscars. He pulled her aside and said, "No, you don't need to be wearing this. You
Oh,
need to be wearing
absolutely.
something else." I'll never forget
Absolutely.
that. I was like,
Yep.
"Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, but today she did a beautiful post, and
I'm
they
sure she
really
did.
did become friends after that.
I'm
He was
sure.
very close friends with Tamron Hall.
Yes.
He was, and even though we try not to talk about our former president and first lady, but he actually styled Melania Trump when she married our former president.
I heard that.
Yes, he actually styled her as well too. So he was everything that was elegance, essence. I don't care how macho you are as a man, you had to give brother credit. He
Of
was the top of his game for what he did.
And you know what's interesting? I was reading about how he loved the stories with, sharing with his grandmother in Durham, North Carolina. And because he grew up in the segregated Jim Crow era, his mother said, or I know it was his grandmother that said she would never let any white person in their house. Because
Right.
she was like, if I can't be around and do things, no white person, the only person, the white person to come in her house is the Undertaker. I was
Right.
like, that
Yep.
was a powerful woman. So
Right.
he came from prominence and greatness
Yes.
already. So
Yes. Yes.
this is a major loss in the fashion. I mean, every fashion person who was just giving him his kudos as they should.
Yes,
Period.
absolutely. I have a statement from Linda Johnson Rice. The statement reads, I am heartbroken to learn of the passing of fashion icon Andre Leon Talley. My mother, Eunice W. Johnson, handpicked Andre as the fashion editor for Ebony magazine. He worked with my mother hand in glove for years. I had the honor and pleasure of traveling with Andre to haute couture collections in Paris, Rome, and other fashion capitals to purchase incredible ensembles for the Ebony Fashion Fair show. And as you guys all know, the Ebony Fashion Fair show was the fashion show for Black designers, just couture clothing, stuff
Mm-hmm.
that, your mama be like, now, when you get married, baby, I'm going to wear that outfit to your wedding, that type of
Okay,
stuff. It
that's
wasn't just no
right.
regular church basement fashion show.
That's
It was
right.
very avant-garde couture fashion. I go on with the statement that uh, Andre was a one of a kind, second to none. Sincerely, Linda Johnson Rice. So the tributes have been coming in all day long. The only other thing that I did want to talk about is Leon Andre Talley never shied away from racism that was happening in the fashion business. And he even lost the gig in Russia because of homophobia and Russian laws that would not let a gay person, they're very strict on that and would not let a gay person work the job. So he had to resort to that. And Leon Andre Talley oftentimes, compared his salary of 300,000 to the millions that people were making. And it was to the point that he even almost lost where he was living.
I
Uh,
remember that.
yes, remember that? He was having
Mm-hmm.
financial
We
trouble.
talked and we talked about that on the show.
Yes, yes. $300,000 a year though, baby. Well, so it just makes you wonder. Any other
Yeah.
reflections of Leon with you?
Again, he was truly larger than life. He truly knew himself. I really was just amazed on how he was fearless and fierce when
Hmm.
he spoke about fashion, when he just spoke about topics. The one thing I will say, you mentioned that he was very close to Tamron. Tamron had posted a beautiful photo of him and Moses when
Yep.
Moses was just a little Moses,
Yes.
and the photo, it just lets you know that despite all the grandeur, he loved family. He
Yes.
loved children,
Absolutely.
and that was
Absolutely.
just really sweet. So, the world has lost a huge icon, but
Hmm.
again, we talk about this on the show. People, please live your dash. He
That's right.
lived his dash. We
Yes.
have the opportunity to continuously live our dashes. So,
That's right. That's
yeah.
right. Also, we want to give a major shout out to Dion Williams of Dion Williams Public Relations. As you guys all know, she's very big in Black Fashion Week, and her series is entitled Emerge. And Dion, her first interview during this pandemic, if I'm not mistaken, was with the Honorable Mr. Leon Talley.
Oh
Oh,
wow.
absolutely. A great interview. If you ever get a chance, go to Dion Williams' Facebook page or social media pages, and you can watch the interview. And it was just like, you and I are sitting here talking with each other. That's the way that interview was.
Oh,
And just
that's
really a grand guy. I never got to meet him personally. I've been in his presence, but never got a chance to meet him personally.
wow. Wow.
Yes.
Well,
All right.
he's now with our ancestors.
Yes. Yes, he is. God bless the life and times of Mr. Leon. Did I say
It's
Andre
Andre
Leon
Leon
Talley? Thank you,
Talley.
guys. Thank you. I'm telling you, with all these deaths, I am just losing it. Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Kay Renee, you got some other things. Oh, by the way, real quick, we want to wish our girl, Miss Dolly Parton, a happy 76th birthday.
And
Happy
I
76th.
heard she celebrated her birthday suit. So go ahead, Miss Dolly. I ain't
Yeah,
mad
Miss
at
Dolly
you.
want to lay out in Playboy again.
Hey, I ain't
Yeah,
mad at her.
yeah.
I like to see a reboot of them, her, Lily Tomlin, and Jane Fonda in 9 to 5. But
Yes,
I don't know. I don't think Dabney is alive. But that would be kind of cool to see
yes.
them, now versus when the movie was shot. But
Well,
happy birthday, Miss Dolly.
I hope they put the staples in the right place on Miss Dolly. That's all
Oh,
I'm gonna
here we
say.
go.
That's all I'm gonna say. I hope they put the staples in the right place, and I hope she have on some cute little lace panties. I just do.
Okay.
Right, yeah. After that, I'm good. I'm good, Dolly. Yes, amen. All right, go right ahead, Kay Renee.
Well, I was talking about this with you before we went on the air, and I didn't know this, but apparently, for those who are in Boston, I don't know if I have my Boston accent.
Boston, Boston,
Boston, and
Boston,
in Boston and most of the
Boston.
states in the Northeast, and in Canada, they love their hockey. And with me, I like sports, but hockey, I had to grow to know hockey and to appreciate hockey. Well, it was reported yesterday that the Boston Bruins retired the jersey of the first black player in the NHL, Willie O'Ree. Now
Hmm.
everybody like, who the heck is that? I know. He was known as the Jackie Robinson of hockey. He wasn't
Yeah.
born here, y'all. He was born in Fredericton, Brunswick, Canada. So,
Oh,
but he played with the Boston Bruins for over 20 plus years. He was a
wow.
winger. And I mean, this man, he experienced racism because I was reading that when he played the Chicago Blackhawks, they called him, the N word, and one tried to bust him in his nose, and he's like, "I'm gonna bust you back." See, this in hockey. If y'all have never been to a hockey game, they don't play. They don't
No,
just like, "Oh, hi, let me get the puck and just swing it." If it hits you on your face, it hits you in your face. They
right.
get into some serious fights, and I had the privilege when my big sister, we went to a Chicago Blackhawks game while they were in their prime of winning the Stanley Cup. And can you imagine? All right, two black women. We had great seats now. All these white folks looking like, what the heck they doing here? We had a good time, and I had a better appreciation for hockey after going to that game. But
Yes.
Willie O'Ree, he is 86 now, but they
Wow.
finally retired his number. Guess what his number was?
What?
22. Now
Oh my
that
God.
that number is very familiar to me, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, right.
So, congratulations, Mr. Willie Rory. That's someone you should know. Since now we're gonna be celebrating Black History Month in less than 2 weeks.
Yes.
Look him up. Willie O'Ree. He resides now in San Diego, one of my favorite cities, but he is the first black hockey player, to have his number retired from the
Nice.
Boston Bruins.
Very
So
nice.
that
Very,
is historic. And so
very nice.
congratulations, Mr. O'Ree. I hope we get a chance to interview you. I'm gonna put that in the universe.
Very well. Let me say this to you about the hockey players, and you say you two were the only black women there.
Hmm.
Well, see, I just thought these sisters here trying to get them a hockey player. But here's the flip side to that. Have you ever, hockey players usually don't have any teeth.
I
And
know.
if they do have teeth, they either false teeth
I
until they get
know.
the implants.
I
So
know.
yeah, so it look, I was like, no, I don't know if I necessarily want a hockey player like that, because yeah,
Well, as I said, we had a real good time. My big sister and I, and again, when we first sat down, I'm telling you, white women and men, they're like, "What the hell?
Right. Yeah.
And we're looking back like, yeah, and
Yeah. Yes. We
and
husband shopping.
right,
We
well,
husband shopping.
and some of the guys who were single, they were like, well, look at here.
Right.
We
Yeah.
had and they won that night, so it was even better. But it was, I had a better appreciation for hockey, and of course, the Blackhawks are one of the premier um, teams in the NHL. So by them winning the Stanley Cup, a few times, and hopefully they'll win this season. But I was just really amazed that we have never known about this gentleman. And so I'm
Hmm.
glad that he is alive to truly get his roses. So again, congrats to Mr. Willie O'Ree.
Yes. Very good. All right. Well, you meet your hockey player, you'll be eating deer meat and wearing flannel. I'm just telling you.
K Renee wears no flannel, honey.
I'm just telling you, honey.
We don't the last time I wore flannel art, I was at like 6 or 7 years old. We
Oh,
don't
okay.
we don't we don't wear
Okay.
flannel.
I'm just telling you, deer meat and flannel. Been there, done that.
I can do venison, but
Okay. All right. What else do we have in the news tonight, dear?
I don't know what I sent this story to you before, and I know I like to have a hearty discussion, but I don't know, you want to file this one under TMI.
Oh, I saw that. I really, yeah, doing too much. Doing too much. Tell the audience what we're talking about.
Well, it appears that actor Rob Lowe, everybody remembers Rob Lowe, Salem was fire. He used to have a drug problem. He was in the West Wing.
Heartthrob. He was a heartthrob.
But
Yes.
heartthrob. I used to have a crush
Yes.
on Rob Lowe.
Yes.
But his wife was teaching Academy Award winning actress, because yes, she won Academy Award, Gwyneth Paltrow, on the basics of fellatio, or we know it as oral sex. And his response was, because he was interviewed by Jimmy Kimmel recently, and he didn't know how to approach this, but apparently they go back, Gwyneth and his wife Cheryl Burkhoff go back years.
Okay.
Because at one time Cheryl was Gwyneth's mother, famed actress Blythe Danner's makeup artist.
Yes.
So
yes.
she looked to Cheryl as like a big sister.
Okay.
So at the time when Cheryl was, taking care of Miss Blythe, she was also dating Keanu Reeves. And
okay.
so they had that big sister moment. And so I guess Gwyneth was curious about sex, and so she kind of taught her was giving her some tips on fellatio.
Well, okay, so everybody has had somebody that has taught them or told them what they need to know. I mean, okay, before I put my foot in my mouth, and we do have a guest coming up real soon. I mean, I look at the grapefruit lady, Auntie Angel, who I've had on my radio show. We've had her. We'll probably get her back here for Valentine's Day. She has 56 techniques of doing fellatio.
And I've been to her workshop.
Well, because again, 56 techniques. I'm trying to figure out, did you do them all on one person? Did you just all of that's mind blowing to me. So this is not female on female teaching. It's I mean, I'm at a loss. Because I mean, really, you just take a banana and you show the person what to do.
Well, apparently they didn't get into detail in the article, but it's safe to imply that they probably just had a discussion on how to engage in that activity.
Okay.
And here's the interesting part. Of course, Rob gonna say she's the best wife, the best mother, the best sexiest woman. I said because she knows how to keep you. So let me keep it real. If you can do, see, a lot of women don't like doing that, and I don't know why.
Okay.
I don't know why.
You
get lots of good things when you can do it and do it well, and that's all I'm gonna say on that subject.
Okay, ma'am, I'm gonna say fix it, Jesus, on this show. That's all I'm gonna say, ma'am. Is fix it, Jesus. Fix it, Jesus. Because we got a man coming on in minutes talking about grief. And please, let me get this bus back on the road, because man, we just went over okay. So we'll have to have a show very soon on fellatio. I see that now. Okay, amen. So doing it and doing it well. Yes. Okay, I'm with you. Okay, yes.
Okay, wait. Let me get my
get your ankle lady face back. Right. Okay. Yes. All right. All right. So we'll leave it at that.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. All right. Next.
I think I'm done after that.
I don't think we can segue to, I guess, this man coming over here talking about grief and we talking about swiping a good one. Okay. Uh,
um,
yes, yes, yes. So, with all that being said,
yes.
we want to say good evening and welcome to the Wednesday night edition of the Real Chat Daddy Show. I am your host, Chat Daddy. So glad you guys are here with us this evening. Sitting in the co-host chair is my girl, Miss this way, this way, this way, over there. Right, no, over here is the one and only Miss K. Renee of Karen's Nuggets of Knowledge. We're here 3 nights a week, Monday through Friday from 7 until we get tired. We have a wonderful guest coming up in just a few moments who's going to talk about dealing with grief. Grief will take you through many different emotions. You could hear a song that reminds you of someone. I know a fragrance for a long time I couldn't smell because it reminded me of someone. So tonight we're going to lay it all out on the line with our wonderful, wonderful guest who specializes in grief. And we're looking forward to talking to him.
And in tandem with that, today is Tenderness Toward Existence Day.
Oh, really?
Yes, not only is National Popcorn Day, I posted
yes,
that earlier.
Yes,
but
it is.
Today is Tenderness Toward Existence. So as we talk about grief, why don't we display some tenderness not only to yourself, but to people that you care about? Because, you know, there's something to be said about being tender and just being kind.
Yes, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Speaking of it being National Popcorn Day, how do you like your popcorn?
Caramel with a little cheese.
Really?
From Garrett's.
Okay then. I like caramel corn, or as you said, caramel corn. I love cheese. I do like the exotic flavors. I must give a shout out again to our girl, Miss Lolita. Her cheese popcorn, where you can only eat 6 kernels. And here's the sad part. Her popcorn was so good that one night I finished the whole bag. And yeah.
Okay, you didn't go nowhere afterwards, right?
Oh, no. But I mean, in my sleep that night, I was on a magic carpet. I think I rolled around the ceiling fan a few times and, just all of that. So, yes, but I do love popcorn as well, too. Now, here's the funniest thing. Over the holiday, I bought me a air popcorn maker.
You mentioned that.
And I love the popcorn. It's really good because microwave was starting to get on my nerves. Some of the kernels wouldn't pop. It's steady popping. You open it up and 100 kernels falling out. Where the air popper has been so much better and not as much oil and things like that. So yeah, I'm actually enjoying my air popper. Yes.
Very good.
Good. All right. Anything else we need to talk about before our guest joins us? What's coming up on K&K this coming Saturday?
Well, we're going to be talking about financial and physical empowerment and fitness because this time of year, we had Miss Shanae yesterday about weight loss. It's also time for us to get our finances in order because around the corner, you got to file those taxes. And, let me make that reminder that if you're able to file your taxes, the sooner you can file them, the better you will have the opportunity to get your refund. So
yeah, but I heard the refunds are delayed.
Well, yeah, and I think we need to probably bring someone who has some specialty in the tax realm. You know what I mean? To talk about that. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, but I heard that our refunds will be delayed this year.
Like they were last year, because some people still ain't got their last year's refund.
Right. So, I don't know. Everything is just so crazy right now. A lot of international airlines are not flying into the United States because of the 5G system and their navigational system on the wide body planes. Those were the ones I used to work internationally. They're worried about them not being able to land. It is so much going on right now. And then the prices in grocery stores nowadays are just ridiculous. And then they were just saying today that there would be a shortage in orange juice soon.
Oh, wow.
That there's going to be a problem with orange juice and all of that. And, somebody was just joking the other day, chicken wings are so expensive now that, people are like, we're going to be eating buffalo legs. We're not going to be eating, drumsticks. We're not going to be eating chicken wings because they are just incredibly high. One woman posted a receipt where she went to one of our famous fried chicken places.
I
That
saw
everybody
that.
loves to get wings. And
Mm-hmm.
2 6-piece wing
For
dinner,
$20. No, it was
$24.
$24. Right. I was like,
$24.
what the what?
$24 for the 2-piece wing dinner. Yes.
I
So
tell you.
just crazy, to say the least. All right. Well, thank you guys again for joining us tonight. If you've not done so yet, please go over to YouTube, subscribe to the Real Chat Daddy Show. It is free. We appreciate you. Actually, I looked today and our numbers are growing. We're trying to reach 1,000. Once we reach 1,000, we can go out after sponsors, people to help with the cost of this show. And so if you guys have not subscribed, please do so. It's free. It's easy. You won't be solicited for anything. All you're doing is going to YouTube and just liking the fact that you like this show. So we greatly would appreciate it if you could. We've been here since the beginning of the pandemic, and seem like we're going to continue to move forward. We've actually done over 250 shows.
Wow.
Isn't that incredible? It is. So
Wow.
thank you
So
to all of our amazing guests. All right. So our guest this evening is someone who we are honored to have him here tonight. I was reading his book earlier, and just some things that I learned were just so impressive. Author Fred Colby, he is the author of the book Widower to Widower, Surviving the End of Your Most Important Relationship. And Fred has done just so much work with helping people after the death of his wife, and we'll talk about that this evening. I did not realize that grief ran so many different emotions. So I'm just so excited to meet him tonight. And you and I were just talking earlier, losing a parent is one thing, and losing both parents is one thing, but to lose the love of your life, that's a whole nother ball game. Yep. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the show our guest this evening, the incredible Mr. Fred Colby.
Yay.
Thank you. What a pleasure to join you guys. I'm looking forward to our discussion.
Oh, Fred, it's an honor and a pleasure to have you here. Happy New Year. How are you this year?
Doing well. Settled into my new home. I moved in about 4 months ago. Got to visit with the kids and grandkids, so everything's good.
Okay, very good. Well, Fred, please introduce yourself to our audience. Tell them a little bit about your background, and then we're going to get into your book and why you wrote it. Go right ahead.
Okay. Yeah, I've lost my wife back in 2015 after a 45-year marriage. And what happened to me afterwards drove me to write this book. I could find nothing to help me. It was very frustrating. I asked my therapist to help me find things, and she couldn't find anything. And finally, after going back and forth, after about 6 months, she asked me, well, why don't you write the book? And after a while, I thought about it, and I said, I'll do that. I'd had a history of doing a lot of writing, not books, but articles, newsletters, fundraising letters, and all kinds of things for various nonprofits I worked for 30 years. And so I felt like I could do it. And here I am 5 years later with a book that's sold over 3,000 copies and is getting out there to all the widowers to help them get through this.
Very, very good. We were both discussing earlier losing both of our parents, but not, losing a mate. And if we could, I kind of want to talk about what is the initial feeling once you lose the mate? You know what I'm saying? Because you think to death do us part, through sickness and health. What was your initial reaction when you lost your mate, Fred?
You are literally destroyed. I was driven to the ground, sobbing more times than I could count. You're lost. A couple has been together like we were 45 years, and you grow together. You can finish each other's sentences, finish each other's thoughts. You depended upon each other to do certain functions during the day. And then all of a sudden, half of you has been ripped away. And you don't know what to do without it. So you're at a loss, you're confused, you're in pain, you're numb for a good portion of the time. And for me, I escaped to the mountains for a week because I knew I needed to get away from it all. literally allowed myself a week to do nothing but grieve as deeply as I wanted to grieve. And that really helped me to process it enough that when I came back, I knew what I wanted to do. I wanted to find a grief therapist. I wanted to let my daughters know what I was going through, and I wanted to let my friends know they could help me.
Right. Okay, Renee, did you have a question for Fred before I get into these questions?
Well, Fred, I definitely can empathize. I was mentioning to Art before we went on, like, because my father had lost my mom, and they were married for 47 years, so she had passed first.
Yeah.
And so I was saying, in fact, I made a post before we came live. I said, had my father read your book, I think he would have it would have helped him, because that was his queen. And I saw the emotions, the range of emotions that he experienced once she passed. And it was really, the only thing I could do was just be there for him, because, it's just really hard.
Yeah.
So I
And
can
most
definitely
people don't know what to do or to say. And I try and explain it one way is that a widow, when her husband dies, she'll have 10, 20 close friends who will surround her, hug her, love her, and be there for her on an ongoing basis. Guys, we're lucky if we got 2 good friends. And neither of them knows what to do or to say.
Right. Fred, do we ever get over it? Is my question. Do we ever get over it? And how do you? I know we can't ever delegate to somebody about getting over it, but how do you start to get over it?
Yeah, for most people, it's going to take 6 months to a year before you start to feel like you have your feet on the ground again. And I will say that deep grieving, which is when you're just immersed in it 24/7 every day for the 6 to 12 months, that you're not going to escape. You have to go through that to process your grief. But once you get past that, you begin to settle into a more normal way of remembering your loved one, and you learn how to do it in a healthy way. So, for example, during the first 6 months, I went through album after album of photos and thoroughly suffered through it. But, in a way, it was my way of honoring my wife, remembering her, and loving her. Every pang of pain was a good thing because it helped me to process the grief.
Okay, very good. What type of resources are available for people to help manage their emotional moments? Because we're looking at birthdays, anniversaries, holidays.
Right.
What are some of the resources that are available?
There's since I first started this process myself back in 2015, 16, there's been an amazing number of resources that have appeared online that are helpful. And I urge people to check those out. For men, the best one is the Widowers Support Network, which is where widowers only are allowed into the membership, if you will. It has about 1,500 to 2,000 members right now.
Right.
And they just support each other and share their truths and share their needs and their problems, and they can talk about anything from dating again to removing the wedding ring to what do I do now?
Right.
So there's resources like that. I have a whole list of them in my book.
Okay.
And speaking of that, I read in one of your blogs that a woman was so offended that apparently the guy that she was dating she was offended that he still had his late wife's wedding ring after 8 months. And I took offense to that, because again, when you lose a loved one, whether it's a mate or parent, grief happens in different stages. And for her, I thought she was just very insensitive. I mean, I was glad I saw your response, but how do widowers handle situations of that nature?
Yeah, this is a real problem for the guys, because if they react with anger, everybody just shuts them off. And the tendency is to want to react with anger when you get asked for the 500th time, how are you? And you want to say, I feel like crap, I'm not good. But, people don't want to hear that. So you You don't tell them that. I always tell people that are friends and family to engage the widower, anybody who's lost somebody, by being supportive and asking them about their story. So, for example, with somebody, a man who's lost a woman, ask him, how did you meet her? You know, what made her so special? What are some of the things you remember? And if you were a friend of her, think of a story about her that you can share with him, because those little gems are wonderful to discover.
Yes. For some reason, we're having really bad audio feedback, and the audience is having a hard time hearing the conversation.
I was wondering if you were getting it as bad as I was. I was trying the earphone.
So that's all right. Let's see if that helps. That's all right. Yeah. I think we're still having the feedback. We may have to you back on again because they're saying they're having a hard time hearing it.
Okay.
Outstanding information. The book is a great read. How can people continue to follow you, find you, and get the book?
Yeah, so they can go to www.fredcolby.com, and there's a whole list of resources there, blogs that are free, as well as how to buy my book and other resources. So that's a good place. Yeah, we'll see if we can figure this out for the next time.
Okay, we'll get it. Fred, we appreciate you so much. Okay. God bless. Great read, and we definitely want to have you back in the future.
Absolutely.
Okay, thank you so much.
Have a great night. Thank you, Fred. We appreciate you. All right. Bye-bye. That was a great conversation. I just hate we were having such audio issues, but it was a great conversation, and just a beautiful spirit he was. So, Kay Renee, since we got to bump on and ease on down the road.
Ease on down the road.
Ease on down the road, darling. Absolutely. Okay. I got to get my décolletage together.
Yeah.
Yes, my décolletage. My Taj d'aigle.
Your Taj d'aigle.
We're going to see TC Carson, so I got to get my décolletage together.
I understand, sweet. Well, let me talk about this nugget, and it definitely ties into what we were discussing. And this is Wise Words Wednesday, and it's just simple as this, Chat Daddy. Life isn't a matter of milestones, but a treasure of memories. Again, this is Wise Words Wednesday. # cherish the moment.
My God, how beautiful is that? Really, that is a great job. For more information about this amazing young lady, please go to karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. karensnuggetsofknowledge.com. We apologize, you guys, about the audio situation. That was nothing in our control. That was on the guest end, but a lot of great information he gave tonight. Kay Renee, anything else you want to say to everybody before we get out of here tonight?
Stay warm, stay safe, be aware of your surroundings. Please.
Yes.
We lost a lot of,
Six young people got shot here in Chicago yesterday.
In less than 4 hours yesterday.
Yes.
One person, one little boy, 9th grader, was killed because he was just leaving school, heading home on the bus. This has got to stop, y'all. We got to be aware of our...
A hairdresser was killed trying to find a parking space to go into her beauty salon.
What's grandmother? With that?
Yes, a grandmother, a mother, not a well-to-do lady. So many people out there to support her today. This stuff is crazy. It really is. Stop. It really is. Well, you guys stay safe, be warm. We love you guys so much. We'll be back Monday night, this next Monday night. For more of the Real Chat Daddy Show. For more information about yours truly, please visit therealchatdaddy.com, therealchatdaddy.com. Do us a favor, go over to YouTube and subscribe to The Real Chat Daddy Show. We almost at our total number to get this show to the next level. We love you guys so much. Be safe. Have a beautiful night. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. We're headed to the City Winery. Good night. We love you guys. Bye.
Bye.